Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is your girl Ray P back for another episode of the We Got Y'all podcast. Of course, I am not here alone. I am joined by my co-anchor, my friend, confidant, road dog, sharing the morning, afternoon, or late night. That's with Kyron Richardson, aka K Rich. What's going on, friend?
Not much. Hey, Rachel always does these off the top. I know for a fact you don't have these written down. And every episode, you always tailor it to whatever we're discussing. So
For
I
sure.
really appreciate your intros, along with the morning show co-anchor, conversation. Of course, you're the Alice Levy of this situation. As far as the star power, maybe not some other things, but I'm excited to be here to talk about I'm excited to be here and talk about the morning show. We
For
just
sure.
finished up another show we're covering right now. We got y'all Reasonable Doubt. And similar to Reasonable Doubt, um, this show has been on for a while, and Rachel
Yeah,
and myself have never discussed it. I don't think we've ever had a personal conversation about
I
it.
don't think
So
so.
I am excited to get into it. We appreciate all of you for listening. Please be sure to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. If you enjoy television, please make sure you are subscribed to the We Got Y'all Television podcast.
Yes.
We appreciate it dearly, and we're enjoying or going to enjoy having you a part of these conversations.
Hmm.
Apple TV Plus, Rachel has long been saying that they have taken over the mantle of
Yeah.
best streaming service. For a long time, I think HBO is kind of the original. When it comes to original programming and shows, I think
Hmm.
they're the GOAT.
Yeah.
But man, Apple TV Plus has really come in, and not even a slow start, but just it took people a while to kind of migrate over
For sure.
because Netflix had some stuff, and obviously the streaming wars continue. But
Hmm.
Apple TV Plus really started picking things up, and they really don't miss when it comes to shows. And the morning show is one of those or those original, I guess, flagpole or flag tent. Wow, what's the I don't
Ship.
tent pole flagship? Dang, where did I get that from? Where did I get flagpole from? Flagship. I know that too. I don't know why I just did that. But all right, flagship shows. Um, what are your thoughts on morning show? This is our first conversation about it. Let's kind of get into it a little bit. Um, were you a day one watcher? And what do you think? What are your thoughts on the show, just as a
I
whole?
well, so I'll piggyback first off of your praise for for Apple TV Plus. Let me tell you, there has not been a show, even if I didn't. mm, I was about to lie to y'all. There's only been one show that I have tried on Apple TV that I have not been able to get into. However, everyone else who's seen it raves about it. So maybe I just need to sit down and focus. And that is Slow Horses. I've heard nothing but good things about it, but I've just not been able to actually get into it. So to your point, for me, Apple TV has the crown, and I love me some HBO, but every Wednesday, Friday, whatever day, I am looking to Apple TV for my next watch. Currently, I am watching Platonic with Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne. I am
Mhm.
obviously watching the morning show for y'all. For us.
Straight
But
up.
I am a day one watcher of the morning show. I am watching Chief of War with Jason Momoa. I just saved The Savant to my added to list to watch that when it is released. Apple TV, if you did watch the Emmys, they are running things, okay?
Mhm.
So shout out to them and shout out to all the creators and creatives over there really putting their boots to the ground to put out amazing, amazing, amazing content. And so here we are talking about some of that amazing content with the morning show. We are covering season 4. We've never discussed this show of we've never discussed the morning show. So here we are covering season 4, episode 1, My Roman Empire. Kyron, I watched it 3 times. So after the second watch, the second 2 watches was really enough.
Okay. Okay.
Because it
Um.
lost its luster, but also I I don't know if we've talked. My rewatch capability is significantly limited these days. Howsoever, because I wasn't necessarily paying the closest attention because I was doing a lot of moving around in the first watch, I
Mm-hmm.
missed so many things
Yeah.
that I caught at watch 2. And then on watch 3 this morning, I'm like, I really didn't need to watch this again.
Oh, fair. Yeah, I don't think 3 was necessary, but 2
Yeah,
definitely. I'm not mad at that.
for sure.
Synopsis for the episode: as
Mhm.
UBN, not UBA, the new UBN prepares for the 2024 games in Paris, an
Mhm.
unexpected crisis throws the network into chaos. Um, the show itself, I want to get your thoughts on, since this is our first conversation, just favorite season, and if you have favorite characters so far or favorite moments. We kind of did this the same with Reasonable Doubt, but I just want to know. Shout out to Jay Carson, who is the creator of the show.
Mhm.
But I'll just ask you directly, between seasons 1 through 3, which one is your favorite season?
2.
2. Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
2, 1, 3.
Okay. I would say 1, 2, 3. I think in
Okay.
order they've been
Okay.
going.
Okay.
And the reason mine is, one, I like 2, and
Mhm.
I like what you're doing. I think hmm, 1 was so strong, but it had the benefit of being the first and having the
For
original
sure.
story, right? So the
For
whole
sure.
season led up to that final, and there will be spoiler alerts. This is
Mhm.
explicit content. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you've seen the show. But the entire season 1, I felt, was just leading up to that final scene and that
Mhm.
final moment of the exposure on air. And
Yeah.
then I felt like, all right, then now we got to kind of figure out what this show is and where it's going,
Mhm.
right? They kind of
Mhm.
had that tool and that crush to lean on. Now we have to develop these characters and really figure out what's what. We knew that it started, or if you didn't know, when it first got greenlit, it was greenlit for 20 episodes. So they knew right away it was going to be 2 seasons. And I guess it's a good place to say season 4 starting has already been greenlit for season 5.
Yeah.
And um, the big highlights as we get into season 4, I just want to mention, if you remember season 3, you had Paul Marks, played by John Hamm, who was nominated for an Emmy. Paul Marks is looking to acquire the UBA. He's
Mhm.
a big tech. Obviously, one of the brilliant things about the show, which I guess you have to do this, you're taking a real life. So it's not this own fictional world where they had these different storylines. These are real events, to where the morning show is supposed to be a part of our lives. So when they cover COVID in season 2, when they cover the Me Too movement,
Mhm.
they're covering obviously the Roe versus Wade decision
Yeah.
in season 3, and just all of these things. I'm sure there's going to be, they've already covered like January 6th, the insurrection.
Mhm.
I know as we start season 4, we're in 2024. I forget which month. Um,
It's
but I
heading into
know
the Olympics, so they're at least
it's spring. I think it's,
it's spring. They're at least in late to mid May.
yeah, they said the month. I can't remember. But either way, we know that we're going to discuss, the 2024 election
Yeah.
and everything else that comes with it. But the big hitters are, the merger doesn't go through, or the acquisition doesn't go through, because Paul Marks is found to be a shady guy. We
Mhm.
knew this all along. They finally got their proof, as Rachel always says, or as Alonzo said, I guess, and Rachel echoes, it's not what you know, is what you can prove.
Yeah.
Finally got their proof. We know that Corey has been accused of, cozying up to his employees.
Mhm.
So he's canceled at the moment. Alex is now an executive. Chip has been fired. He's doing
Mhm.
his own thing with documentaries. And we have a few new characters sprinkled in. And Stella, who we've met in season 3, she is now running UBN.
Yeah.
Since the merger did take place between UBA and was it MBN?
In the end. Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what you see a lot of, because we talked about, speaking of HBO, just when they acquired so many companies and changing the name back and
Mhm.
forth, and now it is what it is. But that's kind of how we caught up and get into season 4. Bradley ended up turning herself in for her role in covering up her brother's um, participation in the insurrection. Which I'm curious, real quick, Rachel,
Yeah.
you doing that for family?
No.
Like, it's one thing to turn away, but to put your own life, not life, and as like, uh, 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 why can't I think of words today? Literally, literal. Literal is the word I was searching for right then. So not life as literal, like her life's not literally in danger, but her career, her livelihood is in danger.
My life is literally in danger if I have to be on probation and parole and be facing jail time for deleting evidence.
Yeah, fair. Fair. And obviously we wouldn't have been down with no January saying I don't think nobody in my family would have been there anyway. But in a similar situation where you have evidence, you cover it up on behalf of your family members. That's a tough ass, man. Bradley's a
I'm
shout out
not
to Bradley.
going to jail.
Yeah, man. Can't do it. I can't do
I know I probably would be cool, but I'm not going.
it.
I ain't trying to find out, okay?
Yeah, I ain't trying to go to jail. Nobody's
I
trying
ain't
to do
trying to find out at all.
that. Before we jump into the episode, I do want to know: do you have a favorite character?
So the easy answer is Chris, played by Mia, or not played by Mia, played by Nicole Bahari.
Mm-hmm.
But she's new. We met her last season.
Yeah.
The easy, I want to say Alex, but low key,
Really?
for all the shit that I be talking, it's probably Bradley.
Really? Alex is
She tricky as hell.
Alex
I'm
is a lot.
tricky.
Alex is
Yeah,
a lot. Alex is a
yeah,
lot. But you need somebody like Alex. You need that. You don't become Alex without being who she is.
exactly.
And Jennifer Aniston,
She's
man,
playing
both
the
of them,
hell out of that
her and
role.
Reese. Yeah,
Her
Jennifer
and
Aniston playing the
Reese.
hell out of the role.
I love everybody. I miss Steve Carell. If you did not watch,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I definitely miss Steve Carell.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one Emmy winner for this show, and that's Billy Crudup, who plays Corey Ellison. He's won 2 Emmys for his role.
Yeah,
And I really thought Steve Carell should have been at least nominated,
for
or
sure.
at least one
For
in
sure.
season 1 or 2, because he really. And just want to let it be known, everybody on the cast has come out and said early on, this is not the Matt Lauer story. So I'm sure he drew from his own inspiration, but I thought he did a really good job as Mitch Kessler.
Yeah.
Didn't like the way he went out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But understood that I was actually shocked when he was in season 2.
Yeah.
I thought at the end of season 1, his story was kind of written. He's shamed and he's off into, the cancel culture abyss.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw him come back and really, I appreciate that was a kind of fine line to go around with the Mitch Kessler redemption story, because he caused so much harm. And shout out to our girl, Gugu and Mbatha Raw, who played Hannah Schoenfeld in season 1, who ended up unaliving herself due to her experience with Mitch and just the weight of it all.
Yeah.
But it's hard to redeem a character like Mitch. And here's the thing, and I think that's maybe what this show did a great job of showing. Even though you knew Mitch was terrible and bad, I don't know if you ever once disliked him.
You didn't.
You didn't, you know what I mean? You didn't dislike him. He's actually brought something to the screen, and it showed you a different point of view. Albeit messed up and out of touch, I can at least understand where you're coming from. He didn't even recall that evening in Las Vegas as SA. You know what I mean? Like, he looked at it as that was consensual, and this is what you wanted to do. I'm Mitch Kessler.
Yeah.
You come to my room. What did you think was going to happen? But to see him kind of have the redemption story, that can be looked at as cheap by a lot of people, especially victims.
Yeah.
To say, oh, you're painting this person, even though it's a fictional character. Art relates to life. You paint this person as somebody and showing them at a different light. But I do appreciate the fact that he was still hated. Nobody mourned his death.
Yeah.
Nobody mourned his passing.
Crazy.
Except for a few that kind of got to understand who he was. But there was a lot of discourse and a lot of disgust, honestly.
Yeah.
Even when his ex-wife came and said, just want somebody there, like, for him, like, because I know he was marred by all of this, his tarnished reputation. But shout out to Mitch.
Yeah.
And I am a big Corey Ellison fan. I like the way Billy Crudup just plays that role, even though Corey Ellison should have been fired 2, 3, 4 times.
For sure. For sure.
Let's get into this season.
Yep. Here
Let's
we
go
are.
ahead and just season 4. Um, Alex is now an executive.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley is in West Virginia
Teaching,
on, yeah, not house arrest, but parole,
parole,
probation.
probation. Mm-hmm.
Was able to kind of pull some strings to where, okay, you came forward. We definitely hanging your brother up in this court of law,
Yeah.
but we gonna keep your name out the press. You cooperated. We do
Mm-hmm.
have some guidelines, but all of that can change, which we find out. But UBN is in a new stage where AI is in the game, which we
Mm-hmm.
kind of know, and you also are dealing with what happens when there's a merger. Who stays? Who goes? Who keeps their job? Who doesn't? Are we acquiring all of the entertainment over here, including the
Yeah.
bro podcasts? You know what I mean? All of these things that have to happen, which is obviously a mix between a Joe Rogan / Theo Vaughn type of person.
Mm-hmm.
So you have all these things. So we stood for one thing for all these years, and now it's kind of mixed in. We're still trying to find our way around. What are your opening thoughts about where Alex is not right now in her life and her career? She's kind of been shooting for it from the jump, but now she's officially an executive. We see a magazine, I think Variety, in
Mm-hmm.
Stella's office with her, with Alex, Stella, and newcomer Celine.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking about the woman power movement that's going on at UPN?
At UBN.
UBN, you. Ah! I said women's power movement, and UPN, not
Uh,
UBN, excuse me, not UPN.
UPN, not UPN.
Boy, once
Shout
a
out
nigga,
to
always a nigga.
UPN network back in
Once
the
a
day.
nigga, always a nigga.
Always cannot help yourself. I honestly am not moved by the new feminist oasis at UBN. I am I've gone through mergers at work, and it is always a tricky time in this current day and age. And again, that is one thing I appreciate about the morning show. It is essentially, to your earlier point, current on what we're dealing with in the real world. They do a good job of incorporating it into the show. You cannot escape AI at this current juncture.
Mm-hmm.
Almost every billion-dollar company, Fortune 500, has implemented AI in some form or fashion. So it would behoove you to be able to navigate it in some way.
Yeah, it's
And,
here.
and here we are. And me, I can't. I'm just telling y'all what we should be doing. I ain't doing nothing. But
Yeah, yeah. You can't be afraid of it because it's here. It's not going anywhere. So yeah,
exactly.
use it or don't use it, but it is going to be a part of
For
today's
sure.
society.
For sure. And so this is where we are. As far as where Alex is my girl. Like I said at the top, I the way that she got in on the merger, she having to let go of her man John Hamm, who was also on Apple TV show
Mm-hmm.
People
My
Next
friends
Door,
and neighbors.
Friends and Neighbors. So good. I want to see her succeed, but I don't want to say for the first time, but for the first ish time. No, that's not even true either. In a more glaring way, you see the rest of the staff not be as enamored with Alex as they once were.
Mm-hmm.
And for a multitude of reasons. One, you get to remain the network darling while also being executive, while wrangling talent, while also being a part of some of our downfall in previous seasons. And yet here you are, essentially unscathed by it all, and you still get to, even though you're not sitting at the morning show desk every day, you still, excuse me, you still get to have important interviews even if they are considered fluff at the time. You are now in charge of hiring and firing. You get to be on the cover of Variety, not just as talent, but as a power player in this billion-dollar industry. So I don't know. We haven't really seen the stories, and I know that Stella was saying that UBN is supposed to be this feminist oasis. but I don't know what exactly we're dealing with. And the show essentially opens with Alex preparing. We're on the road to the Olympics. I think we're essentially 6 weeks or so out. And so we
Mhm.
have the athletes from around the world who doesn't want to come to New York, you know?
Right. Right.
Who doesn't want to come to
Go
the
to,
city that never sleeps?
they
Uh,
want to go to Brooklyn.
they want to go to Brooklyn. Hey, shout out to Love Brooklyn.
I just love Brooklyn.
Shout
Go,
out
please
to
go see that.
yeah, please, please, please. With an Iranian family, a fencer, I believe, and her father, who is a scientist. What was the Paramount show we did? The
The agency.
shout out to the
Yes.
agency
Shout out to the
and
agency.
the
Yes.
Iranian scientists again in tech and this, that, and the
Hmm.
third. So they essentially come to New York on the press tour, preparing.
Roya Naziri, I believe, is the fencer.
Yes. Preparing for the Olympics. So she and Roya and her father are on this tour. They come to New York. Her father hands her very old school. I'm gonna slide you a note like your grandparents do with some cash, but instead this note
Hmm.
says we want to defect or deflect. So essentially that means that they want to seek asylum for all
Hmm.
intents and purposes in the US. Now, they do not come alone. It is not just Roya and her father. They are guarded by several Iranian bodyguards, maybe keepers,
Yeah.
military.
People who, yeah, people who make decisions. They're the people who report to the people who make decisions if they're not the people who make decisions
For
themselves.
sure, for sure. Think back to our agency episodes where the teacher was never by herself. She always had these handlers with her. Here is now Roya and her father in essentially the same scenario. Alex, being a beacon of light and hope, reads this letter and creates a diversion for Roya and her father to get out. Go ahead.
All right. This is
I've
a
laid,
Bradley move,
I've
not an
laid it
Alex
on.
move.
Uh huh.
Are you surprised that she did this?
Low key, no. I think so
You
much has
aren't.
happened that the Alex that we know is not necessarily the Alex that is before us. The Alex that we knew is not the Alex that is before us.
It's
And to
funny
your
because
point,
go ahead.
I was gonna say to your point, I do think that this is a Bradley move, not an Alex move. But we watched Alex shift as she and Bradley's relationship changed, and we watch her, especially last season. I don't want to say remove the rose-colored glasses, but we watched Alex sort of grow up in a way that we hadn't seen, despite everything that had happened in the previous seasons. And so here is now Alex doing what she thinks probably
Hmm.
Bradley would do, or something a little bit more bold or on the right side of history, especially when if you consider again back to this feminist utopia. Here is this young girl and her father in a oppressive country, quote unquote, looking to us for help, looking for me to hold up my Lady Liberty beacon of light for help. Let me do that because that is the right thing to do, and likely what Bradley would do in this situation. WWBJD, what would Bradley Jackson do?
Yes, and maybe there is. And once again, shout out to the writers and character development. She sees her. She meets her father later on, the prodigal
Mm-hmm.
daughter. She says,
Mm-hmm.
"We know that he has some history. I don't know if it was the Iranian government or
Iraqi translator.
The Iraqi
Mhm.
translator, right? And he helped them write the Constitution, so it wasn't anything like this. But I
Mhm.
felt everything that he told her.
Yeah.
Like, whatever this is above your pay grade. Like
Mhm.
this is just too much.
Yeah. And he's a
And
lawyer.
yes,
You're a
yes,
journalist.
I was. That's the thing. You're doing the right thing, but it also might show the journalist side, not the exec side. Because yes, you
Mhm.
are a journalist at heart,
Mhm.
but you're an executive now.
Yeah.
And if one thing that Alex knows how to do is how to play those politics within the
For sure.
workplace, and there's a
For
ton
sure.
of them at the morning show and the media in general. And when they had that meeting afterwards, Stella called the emergency meeting, and everybody who's important kind of shows up. They kind of figure out, like, Alex, you're the one that did this shit,
Mm-hmm.
and we just got the Olympics. We're Switzerland. Like, this is the biggest deal that you could possibly ask for,
For sure.
and you just put all of that in jeopardy. The new person, Celine, I guess
Mm-hmm.
she's a partner. I'm not sure exactly what her role is, but Celine had mentioned I had to eat shit to get this deal done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. We saw how crude things can get back in season 3 when Stella was trying to close those donor deals.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Mm-hmm.
saw, looking up the drink and all that stuff. So, like, who knows what I had to do to close some of these deals?
Yeah.
We just put all of that in jeopardy. It was the right thing to do. I just would have thought that she tried to a different way. But in those moments, you can't. It's either do it now or it's not going to get done.
Yeah.
And obviously, there had to be something that happened where the uncle or the dad, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
trusted her. I'm passing you this note. I trust you that
Yeah.
you're going to be able to help and assist us in this situation. And even then, even with everything I just said, I still don't think Alex even cares. I think, to your point, her heart is in that because she wants to sit down. I want to
Mm-hmm.
sit down. This would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
So she's still thinking like a journalist. I think a lot of other people are looking at her to think like an exec
Yeah.
from the morning show. Did the right thing, absolutely. The effect that it's going to cause, and we know there's going to be some FBI implications and
For
everything
sure.
else,
For
is
sure.
insane. But I ain't mad at her. I ain't mad at her.
I'm not either. I'm not either. I'm curious to see how this plays out.
Speaking of your favorite character, I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about Chris Hunter, who we know is an Olympic gold medalist.
Mm-hmm.
And they want her on the coverage. Pull her from the morning show. She's been doing a morning show with Yanko.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to pull her so she can do some of these pre-interviews like Alex was doing. Because Alex, you too hot.
Yeah.
Too hot. You doing too much. So we're going to get
Yeah.
Chris. Chris is going to make sure these numbers go up. And Mia, who is running the show,
Mm-hmm.
the one thing a lot of people don't talk about is you have to be comfortable with elevation. And that
Yeah.
means it should be looked at as a good thing when the people that work for you elevate and do other things.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking at it as, I'm a black woman, probably not a very limited number of people in this position, if I'm not the only one, at a legacy media company,
Mm-hmm.
2 of them at that, who happen to combine. I don't have the same grace if these numbers don't come in quarter after quarter. These
For
quarter after
sure.
quarter, if these numbers are bad and this show is down,
For
if we
sure.
move to number 2, it's over for me. They'll
Yeah.
come and replace me in a heartbeat. Another chip will walk through the door.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Chris, I want you to grow. I want you to do other things. But if we start mentioning this now, if we start pulling her from the morning show,
Mm-hmm.
now she's going to know those opportunities. Chris has always been ambitious from what I can tell because she had the whole ESPN thing,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, in season 3. But now you're already talking about how about we make this permanent and I just don't come back. Like,
Yeah.
whoever you get to fill in for me, why don't we just keep them on because I want to do some other things.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that impacts Mia. But I want Chris to do more. Like, I want to see more Chris. I mean, I guess that's the best way to say it throughout the
Well,
season. We
she
got,
does too.
and that's probably
She
the
just
point.
doesn't want to be at that morning show desk because it is not the same vibe that it once was. It
Yeah.
is probably stale. There is a
Mm-hmm.
lot of tension again with all of the changes and the merger and this, that, and the third. A lot has happened. I would like to spread my wings a little bit. I don't want to be sitting here doing this bullshit.
Which is completely natural because that's like anybody at any job. Like, there's
Mm-hmm.
only so long you can be there. Some people are cool with it.
Yeah.
And shout out to them. But other people like, I
And
want to do something new.
yeah, for sure. And maybe that home life isn't as easeful as one would like to have believed. When Mia made the comment, don't you want to be here like with your husband and kids, this, that, and the third, putting you on the road, you're already going to be in Paris, now doing the pre-interviews, this, that, and the third, like that's even more time away. Okay. I don't give a fuck.
You gotta go
Sounds
for self.
good. Sounds lovely, actually.
Yeah, you gotta go for self. That's a man. That's where it gets tricky in these relationships because you still have yourself to take care of.
For sure.
And now I have to turn down. Now I have to turn down an opportunity I would jump on 100 times out of 100,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't because I have this other little small thing called a family that
Yeah.
I pretend to. There
For
has to be some
sure.
communication there, and like you
For
said, I think there
sure.
might be some bumps in the road with what's going
Yeah.
on. But I do want to see more of Chris and what she's doing in that coverage because
Mhm.
Chris, obviously, we sang Nicole Bahari's praises on Culture Garden when we did
Yeah.
Love Brooklyn,
Hmm.
but not just like Nicole Bahari. Chris is a star,
For sure.
and there should be more of her, and they see her as a star. I want to do more. I actually, it's exactly what Daniel wanted to be. If you all remember Daniel from seasons 1 and 2, um, the black co-anchor,
Mm-hmm.
he did the twist and all that stuff. I want to do more. I want to be Chris,
Hmm.
but to their benefit, those conversations where you don't have that it factor. He doesn't have what Chris has. It's
For
just
sure.
one of those things.
For
Just
sure.
one of those things. We mentioned Mia, and I think it's important to say Mia also was made promises
Hmm.
that just haven't come to fruition. I
Yeah.
was told that I was going to get your job, Stella, and
Mm.
that was 2 years ago, and that still hasn't happened.
Hello.
And you know I got other offers.
You
I'm trying
know
to
it.
make sure I see this thing through,
Hmm.
but you playing with me. Once again, typical story.
Yeah.
Typical story. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Almost knocked the mic over. Um, while the brass is in their meeting,
Uh.
they're trying to figure out once we decide Alex is no longer fit to do these interviews and this
Hmm.
build up for the Olympics because we don't want the Olympics pulled.
Yeah.
Who can we get to replace her? And of course, none other than TMS's well, TMS megastar,
Hmm.
formerly
Hmm.
Bradley Jackson.
Yeah.
And you got Mia going to West Virginia, going to scout her out. What do you think about? And we'll talk about the messages that Bradley got, but just overall not wanting to go back to the morning show.
You
Do you
know,
agree with her reasoning?
I not necessarily agree or disagree, but I do understand where she's coming from. She left sort of unceremoniously while Stella, Alex, Corey know why she left. Nobody else really knows why she quit. You know, it's some personal issues, this and the third. So here she is in West Virginia. And Alex makes that point when Bradley does in fact come back. I understand. And there's also a level of fear. And potentially, you've been sitting for 2 years teaching in West Virginia. By you going back to New York and sitting on that desk daily, you open yourself up for the whys to actually get out. Because if you remember, they were hacked. Those emails and whatnot were hacked, I believe last season at the network.
Mm-hmm.
That could very easily happen again. We see she get hacked every day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so you open yourself up for the potential exposure of your true reason for leaving and what really is going on with your brother, of that being exposed. And so Bradley having some trepidation in regards to doing that does not surprise me at all, you know? So,
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, sometimes it's easier just to go back to a normal life.
for
It's
sure.
a lot, and you kind of forget what that normal life is like
Hmm.
until you go
Hmm.
back or been forced back to it.
Yeah.
Um, Bradley got a raw deal in the whole thing because she was scammed into
Mhm.
resigning because of Paul Marks and everything else. However, it was her decision to turn herself in, and as she's debating, and Mia even leaves saying, "Like, I don't think we're gonna get Bradley back. We'll
Yeah.
figure this out." Because we do see another thing we didn't talk about. Alex was not on board. While Stella and Mia were perfectly fine with it, Alex was
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And that goes to what you just said, Rachel. I know the real reason why she's not here.
Hmm.
And sort of to what Laura, Bradley's ex, Laura Peterson, told her in season 3. Yeah, we're in season
Hmm.
4 now. Season 3. You crossed the line.
Yeah.
you cross the line, a journalistic line, and if you don't know any journalists, like the integrity and the duty
Mm-hmm.
to report news and
Mm-hmm.
report truth. I'll say that report truth
Mm-hmm.
is so integral to what they do and who they are. It's their makeup. They can't even help it. It's
For
almost
sure.
like I wish they would have explored how much that was eating up Laura, not
Mm-hmm.
to have done that. And of course, it shows the humanity of things because people can pick and choose. We've seen Alex do this plenty of times where,
Yeah.
and Bradley points it out later in the episode. We'll get to it. Before we talk about this random message that Bradley gets, I do want to kind of pivot to Corey a little bit
Mhm.
because Corey's canceled now,
Yeah.
as we see in his meeting with, I believe, Todd, who was
Mm-hmm.
Alex's agent. He has a movie that he's, we've always known Corey's running a studio,
Yeah.
and he has a movie that he's trying to get going. The lead actor or actress has now quit because the director has made an unsafe work environment, or unpleasant
Mm-hmm.
work environment. So now you have these allegations always just being tied to Corey's name. He's trying to get Julia, which I'm assuming is Julia Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the list that he scratched out, they were all first name
Yeah. Julia,
actresses.
Hallie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Hallie. Yeah, it's people that you know exactly who they are.
For sure.
Um, he's just trying to keep everything afloat. But it's the funny part of. Hmm, I wonder how much inspiration was used from the conversation about the society going into a always believe women, always believe victims mode. And there's been another
Mhm.
side that says, well, what's wrong with waiting for all the facts? What's wrong with
Yeah.
waiting for all the information before I say, oh, this person did this bad thing?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's an interesting conversation to have. It's interesting to see it play out because we know Corey's character, even other characters vouch for him. Say he's a lot of things, but he's not that.
Yeah.
He's not, he's not a predator or anything of that nature. He's not
Mm-hmm.
grooming Bradley,
Yeah.
even though he was in love with her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what did you think about Corey and where he is and where he's positioned? Basically, from running everything and being the shot caller for the first 3 seasons, now it just looks like he's grasping for straws.
Well, I think it'd be like that. A fall from grace is a fall from grace, no matter who you are. Um, Not only is he no longer in New York, he's all the way out in California. So you have truly tried to, I don't even really want to say reinvent yourself because that's not the truth, but you have run away from everything that you've known. And while you've been in the industry, quote unquote, we've not seen you making movies and whatnot prior to this. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So a fall from grace, he'll be back in New York soon. And when we
Yeah,
see that it's not all that it's cracked up to be, you dealing with fires. You can't your name is in the dirt right now as to which what was Alex's manager's name?
I think it
Agent's
was
name.
Todd.
Todd, as to which Todd said, like, hey, everybody goes through it. This shit is cyclical. People for the most part have, well, they're getting longer, but short memories. Right now is your turn. It is what it
It's
is.
Doug. It's Doug. I'm sorry,
Doug,
not
Doug,
Todd. Doug.
Doug, 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 Doug. So it is what it is. Corey will be fine because he is a rich white man. He will in fact bounce back. And we did see Alex make that call to him once she saw that she was overridden. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
this is the thing about relationships. There are certain people, for all that Corey was at the network, for the most part, he did also try to look out for Alex. He did have Alex's back for the most part. He was tricky with her too, but um
Well, his mom laid it out who he was. He just happens to
right,
be very charming. I don't think he's malicious, and
right.
I think he's a good person at the core. But he is always going to look out for whatever he's trying to do.
His own best interest.
Absolutely.
So shout out to that. But Corey will be fine. He'll be back in New York probably next week.
Yeah, it's not going to be long before he's out of
Yeah,
there. It's just too much.
especially not being able to get the star that he wants for
Yeah,
this random film.
and that's one thing we don't know anything else about Corey. Really can't operate until he gets what he wants.
That's it.
Um, he has a way of doing that. And once again, he's just out of the overall power structure when it comes to the
Mhm.
news and
Mhm.
the top of UBN. Um, Chip. So Alex has a new assistant,
Mhm.
Remy, and I believe so. No, what's Alex's new assistant's name? I can't really. I don't even know if we got that. I think it is Remy. Um, I don't know if something's going on there. We know Chip has a thing for Alex's assistants.
Mhm.
Alex is reading an article about. I think Sundance might have picked up this documentary. Somebody
Mhm.
picked up this documentary, and the assistant knew. She knew about it. I don't know if it's because she watched it and it's good, and Chip just has
Yeah.
an eye for that stuff, or it's just mainly because maybe there's something else going on. Either way, the Alex Chip relationship has always been going back to season one. The infamous going down the elevator, going up the elevator,
Mhm.
agreeing for Chip to be the fall guy in all
Yeah.
of this, in order for Alex to ascend.
Mhm.
Going back to her feeling bad after talking to Bradley in season two and hiring Chip back,
Mhm.
to her firing Chip in season three.
Mhm.
Um, what are you expecting from, and what do you think about Chip in general? Like, what are your thoughts on Chip? But but to finish my original thought, what are you expecting from that relationship that we've seen be a roller coaster from seasons 1 through 3? That's between Alex and Chip. I mean,
I'm expecting more of the same for them.
yeah.
It's not gonna. It doesn't end. It They champion each other and then they fuck each other over.
Did you know that? Did you until Chip's girlfriend at the time
Hmm.
said it? Did you know that Chip was in love with Alex?
Yes.
I see. I didn't see that, man. I just thought he was a really good producer.
No, there's doing your job, but there's only so much going above and beyond. Like, bitch, I'm not getting COVID for you unless I love you. The story,
That's
the
a fact.
story's not that important to me, please.
I thought that might have been what it was. I thought it was that important or something else. I really just thought he was dedicated to his job because
Consider the
it
time.
wasn't until he wasn't. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, consider the time of what we knew about COVID.
Oh
No,
yeah,
why are you lying? You
that's
want to be
fair.
with this woman, you want to take care of her. Shout out to it because this is not just a producer talent relationship. This is something more. And yes, you build a rapport. Yes, you develop a friendship, but also we've gotten so close. I have an intimate look to your life. I see what you have going on. I see you in ways that the others don't. You're more comfortable with me, and so we laugh a little longer, and then the intimacy changes. So no, I wasn't at all surprised. I knew that he was in love with her.
That kind of shocked me until when he stayed a little too long. Like when it was time to leave after that
Hmm.
interview at Paul Mark's house,
Hmm.
his girl was giving him like, "Nigga, let's go.
Let's
What you
go.
on, bro? Like, why you waiting on her to leave? Like, because you don't want her to, you don't want anything to happen." Um, but yeah, I feel you. I think more of the same as well for them.
Hmm.
Chip is going to they're gonna find their way into a conversation or something. I don't know what's gonna
For
happen. Maybe
sure.
there's an interview with UBN for his documentary.
Hmm.
And something. Because the
Hmm.
last time we saw, well, maybe not. Because the last time we saw Chip on UBN airwaves, it was him
Not
going
great.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't great. A lot of FCC violations. Let's just
For
say
sure.
that.
For sure.
Um, Going back to Bradley. Bradley's getting these anonymous messages from what's similar to like a WhatsApp, some encrypted messaging app. And she's getting these messages about a story of poison in the community. I think the Wolf
Mhm.
Chronicle, something of that nature. Not sure exactly where this is, but middle America, people are being silenced because people are being poisoned, animals are being poisoned. There's a cover up going on. You need to investigate it. You're the only one that can really get into this. It kind of reminds me of, well, that's my. It was the new Jurassic Park that came out this year had like a similar thing. We see these birds just dying and falling and all this other stuff. But either way, this is a real big deal, and it looks like this is the thing that's going to get Bradley back to
Mhm.
UBN. Um, the most telling thing for me was the federal agent
Mhm.
who pretty much was telling her, "If you
You
see
can't do
anything out there that we need to know about, You
Yeah.
should do it. And if you don't if you're not on your best behavior, like you're there to talk about chicken,
Yeah.
exchange chicken recipes. Like none of this other stuff that you really want to go for. So
Mhm.
we kind of see the writing on the wall. Bradley's never going to, she's been known as a truth teller.
Yeah.
She would that would have been like a Game of Thrones name if she was in there. Like she's a truth teller. That's what she does. That's
Yeah.
her MO. And do you have any thoughts on that? On Bradley and her role this season as coming back to the TMS? And not only, I guess we can talk about it now, the conversation that was had between Alex and Bradley at the end of the episode.
I think that it's going to be tumultuous because Alex, who is essentially the new ish HBIC in a different right, doesn't want her there. And it's a different not want her there than when she was first introduced, not wanting her there.
Mm-hmm.
Even we developed a beautiful relationship, but then you did some shit that was really, really fucked up and crossed all these lines and boundaries. And now we all have to have had to pick up the pieces. It's different now. I'm different now. You are likely very different now. So obviously Reese Witherspoon is a key player. So she has to come back to the desk. It just is what it
Yeah.
is. So I'm anticipating it being a, dare I say, tumultuous ride. Bradley Jackson is going to get back to being Bradley Jackson, and everybody else is going to have to fall in line essentially. And that is not going to come easy.
Do you? I'm sorry. Do you feel like Alex was out of pocket or not being welcoming?
I don't think out of pocket is the right word, is the right attitude towards it, because again, this is Alex now with her executive hat on. Despite what Bradley can do for the numbers, at her core, Alex is a journalist. Her father said at one point you went to school to be a real journalist. You talked about journalistic integrity.
Mm-hmm.
By all intents and purposes, Alex still wields that. And now here I am wearing my other hat as an executive. Not only was I told that you said no, so whatever grappling that I would have been doing with working, or with whatever grappling I would have done to make sure that I was in the right headspace for you to be back, I've stopped that because Stella and Mia said you said no. I've not had to think about it. So now here you are. I'm confused as to what you're even doing here because you said no. I've put it out of
Mm-hmm.
my head that we would be working together again. Now I have, here you are showing up at my house. Here I am having to navigate. Oh damn. What if we're hacked again? What if it comes out that we knew when we hid? What does this now look? You're a liability, and I don't quite know what to do with this. And maybe we haven't spoken in these 2 years, which is kind of clear that they didn't, or at least not nearly as much as they were. But how come you didn't give me a call to say, hey, you know what? I am going to come.
Same thing after season one when they just had when Alex left the show and just left Bradley hanging,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that's what this whole conversation circles back to. It's the hypocrisy and almost this is when these are two people that know each other very well. They know where the bodies are to some degree.
For sure.
And you had other stuff on Paul Marks that you didn't report. So now you're gonna be the hand that throws the stone. Two different scenarios. I get it.
Yeah, but he ain't trying to come back here. I'm
Yeah,
not throwing you under the bus either. I'm just confused.
right. And I get that. I get the for I don't want to say for once, but I really understand Alex's point. Like
Mhm.
usually in the past 3 seasons, when she had a conversation like this, it'd be a little bit of an eye roll because
Yeah.
Alex, pot meet kettle. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
you just laid out her role as an exec. She even mentioned, like, I talked to HR, they tell me who I get to fire. Like, you are, and it was kinder. right? It wasn't like those season one conversations that they would
Mm-hmm.
have that were very contentious. It was
The relationship is
here's
different.
some, yeah, here's some wine. It's good to see you. I'm just gonna be real. I don't think you'd be in a place for you right now
Mm-hmm.
because of X, Y, and Z. I'm not chastising you. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying you suck at your job. We all know that's not true. I'm just telling you, friend to friend, this is not the place for you. And I'm gonna lay out these reasons. And obviously, Bradley isn't happy about it.
Yeah.
She feels like she is being judged because my brother was at the insurrection and he's in jail and all of this stuff. And because I know that you're not as righteous as you're coming off as. So it's a very, to use your word, it's a very tricky relationship. It's a very tricky
It
conversation and
is. It
road
is.
to navigate.
And I don't
Even
think either are wrong in this scenario.
yeah, they're not. They're not.
Mhm.
They're not. And going back to what I said earlier about Alex, when I mentioned how it was a little bit surprising that she took took matters into her own hands. She knows how to navigate. She knows how to do the politics,
Mhm.
and she calls Corey Ellison, which Corey was shown this episode saying like Bradley Jackson. Nobody even you have to find somebody to dig up her career. Like it's
Yeah.
over for her.
Mhm.
He gets the phone call because she knows exactly who to call with this information,
Yep.
whose button that's going to push, and that's Corey. Are we
Mhm.
overdue for a catch up?
Mhm.
Wouldn't be calling Corey if it wasn't something that she needed because that's
That's
how the
it.
politics work when you're
Because you
that up.
ain't been
So
calling Corey
exactly. So and they got their own little funny relationship
for
going back to
sure.
season one. So that's shout out to them street tacos as well. But also, I just think that's a big deal. I think that's a big deal, and it's just
Mhm.
laying out the groundwork as we talk about. Opening episodes are kind of slow burn, just kind of
Yeah.
getting us to it where we're going, but very strong opener. Of
Mhm.
course, we cannot leave without some salacious material.
Of course.
Can't save this for last. After the dinner, you gotta have your dessert. Speaking of dessert, that chocolate cake was looking all right that Stella was eating. We see her at the bar. We knew, just as fans of the show, that Aaron Pierre, aka Mufasa,
Uh,
yeah, was cast in this season. We didn't
yeah.
know what role. He plays a character named Miles, and when we first meet him, it looks like he is a gentleman caller for Stella. Like he's just at the bar. I see her across there. She's looking good. I'm gonna send you over a drink. And they have this little role play.
Mhm.
We're gonna act like we don't know each other. You
For
try to
sure.
get at me, I'm gonna reject you. Sends the drink, tell them send it back, then sends over a phone, and then the next thing we know, um, who's saying like the Romeo and Juliet set? It's like Romeo and Juliet had sex on the planet just to make it sweat. This is about to be something
Something
you
you
will
will
never
never
forget.
regret, and it's gonna
Yeah,
be
man.
This is what I bet, baby. I can't remember their names.
Either way, that might as well have been playing in the background because that's what was going on. A lot of like passionate loving, to the point where okay, that was just a little ruse. It wasn't like he just picked her up at the
For
party.
sure. For
um,
sure. Although.
and that's cool. They had a little conversation. He wants her to stay.
Mhm.
I'm sure you like me, Rachel. This is just some old flang or maybe something that you have running around New York from time to
Yeah.
time. We all have them. We all know what that's like. Somebody to fulfill our needs.
For sure.
But it gets tricky later on when we find out that Miles is actually the boyfriend or partner of Celine, who is, I don't know if she said at the board or whatever's going on. And
Yeah.
Stella
Which
is
is what I
actually,
totally missed on my first watch. I missed that completely. I don't know what I was
which
doing.
part? Oh, the fact that
Uh,
they were,
yeah, when Miles came back to the office with Celine, I missed that
mm,
whole scene. I'm like, what?
Rachel, give me your thoughts. What's going on? She, in a, for a organization, for a company, corporation to have previously drowned in this type of behavior
Hmm.
and these allegations, and now you fucking somebody you work with boyfriend,
Well, we've
like
known Stella was tricky.
getting into it.
Yeah, we've
Like,
been known Stella was tricky. Even her acquisition of this role required her to do some things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm surprised, but I'm not. Well, one, can you really put shit past people? But I just was not anticipating that. It's definitely gonna cause for some drama throughout the season. We get this in the first episode because it is going to matter in multiple episodes.
It definitely is. Listen, that's one thing if it's Mayberry. If you like every town USA, bro, you in New York City. There's plenty of options for you, Miles.
Bruh.
Plenty of options for you. You gotta fuck your girl's like coworker. That's why
Subordinate.
Jody was so. That's why Jody was so mad at not Jody, but that's why Yvette was so mad at Baby Boy. All the women, Jody, not a girl at my job, not a girl at my job,
Please,
Jody.
please, please,
It
please.
was
Don't
just the
do that.
coolness with which he like completely separated the two. Like, all right, then see you later.
That's how these
Like
people
I'm
do.
not putting you through mattresses. Like that's insane to me. Like, bro, it's New York City. If you're gonna do your little thing, have your affair, I get it.
But
But
you
just
know
go
what?
ahead and
Here's the
cheat
thing.
outside of the office.
It's just like these conversations with all these athletes and whatnot, recycling the same Instagram models or reality stars, this, that, and the third. Yes, the pool is big, but for whatever reason, niggas like that shallow end.
Yeah, and I guess
Only
it's
four
convenient
feet
because it's
down
right there.
here. You over here in four.
Yeah, and it's convenient because it's right there. It is there's some thrill to it. We see that they're into the thrill,
Yeah.
and there is some like, oh, like she probably. I'm wondering who pursued who, how it even came about. If it was just one of those glances across the room, because sometimes you never mind. I ain't gonna say that. Either way, very interested to see how this whole thing got
Mhm.
started.
It will be. I'm curious. I wanted to say that he probably started it, but low key, from what we know about Stella's sneaky ass, it
I
really
think
was
Stella
probably
did.
her. It was
I think
probably
Stella
Stella.
did, and Stella 100% knew that
Who
was
he
her.
was, for
Yeah,
sure.
who he was.
For
100%
sure.
knew. Yeah, it's going to be a good season. Like I said, we already know that we're going to get a season 5. We're
Mm-hmm.
starting things off right. Just getting introduced back to these characters where they are now. That happens every single season because
Mm-hmm.
outside of ever since season 2, nobody's ever really started the season on the morning show that following year. They've all had different roles, different things, and they all find a way to get brought back together. So
Mm-hmm.
how that happens now, I'm interested in seeing, especially how they play in these real life events and the Olympics and everything else that we knew that took place in 2024. Was there anything that we missed? Anything else that you want to talk about before we get out of here?
I don't think so. Let me just peruse this. Ray and her dad. Roya and her dad. Network wants Alex to step back. Come on. I wrote down, come on, alligator tears. Shout out to Apple TV with the Beyonce spot. I know that wasn't cheap, but I know she and Reese Witherspoon are also friends. Um, we briefly touched on the messages, but who do you think is sending Alex these? I mean, Bradley these messages?
I have no idea. I'm assuming that there's somebody in that town or from that town that knows about this and wants a whistleblower. I don't think it's anybody that she knows or anybody that works at UBN. That's another journalist for sure, or
It's probably
a
Paul
whistle.
who still got that phone tapped.
It's funny you say that. That's the first thing I thought, but I wouldn't imagine him. I couldn't see the motivation in it. But somebody, it's either another journalist or someone in the town that knows that Bradley is known for exposing truths.
Yeah. But
So I
how would
think
they
that's
have
it.
gotten her audio to know that she turned down Mia?
Yeah, now that's the part. That's what made me think it was Paul. I don't know. I have no idea. Another question that needs an answer.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Shout out to
Um,
the morning show.
Shout out to the morning show. Airs every Wednesday on Apple TV Plus.
Mhm.
Make sure you're checking it out, joining these conversations, leaving comments, letting us know your thoughts as well. We will read them in the episode and answer any questions that you have in that
For
regard.
sure.
So,
For sure.
Rachel, with that
Kyra.
being said, that's it.
That's it. That's all. We bid you adieu. I was trying to think of a salutations, but peace out, y'all. Have a good
Signing
week.
off.
Signing
Signing off
off.
from We Got Y'all. This is Ray and Rich. We will see you next week.
Peace.
Bye, America. We out.